Hey guys, welcome to the show. I'm Rantoinette. We got a lot of stories to get into today, so let's get cracking. Over the weekend, Mike Johnson in the House passed through committee the big, beautiful bill. It has not, obviously, it needs to be voted on in Congress, and then it needs to go to the House, to the Senate. And then after it goes to the Senate and make their changes, then it comes back to the House. So we're a little ways away from it, but all of the people over the weekend who were saying, well, there's some holdouts on the Republican side in Congress that might not make it out of committee, I say to you, oh, pshaw, did you really think they weren't going to do it? Because it's not the big, beautiful bill without the big, beautiful tax cuts, folks. And that's what it's always been about. It's always been about the big, beautiful tax cuts. Donald Trump made sure to get it through in 2017, those big, beautiful tax cuts, which increased our national debt that everybody on the right seems to be so concerned with, increased that by $4 trillion just from those tax cuts. And now we're not only going to extend those tax cuts, but we're going to add $4.5 trillion on top of those tax cuts. 2025 is the year that the 2017 tax cuts go away. So we got to make sure that those tax cuts remain, and then we've got this new round of tax cuts. I mean, eventually it's just going to get down to, rich people have got to pay like 2% in taxes, and that's it. And everybody else, you better pony up. You just better pony up. Anyway, Mike Johnson's being interviewed about it, and of course he doesn't. He blames Biden because Moody's, the ratings agency, it's one of the three ratings agencies that we have. We have Standard & Poor's, we have Fitch, and we have Moody's. And the S&P downgraded us in 2011 from our AAA rating down to a AA1 rating back in 2011 during or just after the housing crisis that happened in '08. And Fitch downgraded us. I don't know when Fitch downgraded us, but they downgraded us a while ago too. And Moody's was the last holdout. And with the amount of debt that we've incurred, which is what the AAA rating is based on, whether or not we can pay back our debts. Now, as our dollar currently sits as the world trading currency, which might be short-lived, considering all of the tariffs and all of the international recalculations with China and Japan and South Korea teaming up and the EU teaming up and making deals with China. And it's kind of a national reorganization of the economic order. The order that we as the United States produced over the last 40, 50 plus years to get us to be the world reserve currency. Now that is in jeopardy, our ratings have been dropped, which of course causes the stock market to take a tumble, which it did. And let's not forget that, with the tariffs, people are paying more. They're already paying more. I'm seeing stories left and right about, hey, I bought 2 suits that cost me $500 and the tariffs cost me $800. Or, hey, I was just ordering a whole bunch of lighting that I normally spend about $125,000 on, and the tariffs are $250,000. So they end up paying about over $350,000 for the product that they normally got for like $125,000. So people are already feeling it, and we got nobody else to blame for this but Donald Trump. Nobody else. So Mike Johnson is doing everything he can to make it seem like, that this is all normal, everything is fine. And the fact that Moody's is doing that, oh God, they must be run by a bunch of liberals. It's got to be the liberals. It always has to be the liberals, So the big, beautiful bill has passed through committee and it is on its way to being voted on. Now, here's the funny thing. Those holdouts that we had last week that, some centrists were saying, oh, this could possibly keep it from going forward. No, you don't understand, honey. The people that were not in favor of the bill weren't because it went too far. It was because it did not go far enough. It did not make enough cuts. It did not get draconian enough. We weren't able to kick people off of Medicaid like immediately, and that's what they want. We want to get work requirements for those lazy 25-year-olds who are sitting on their mom's couch and collecting Medicaid, as if those are the people that are actually getting it. You know, we're going to be talking about a lot of poor people, a lot of disabled people who are going to lose their health care because they want to pay for tax cuts. And what I find very fascinating and somewhat interesting, well, actually, I find very interesting and somewhat fascinating because it's not very shocking, that the amount of money to the cuts doesn't really seem to matter. You know, they could cut it from Social Security, they cut it from Medicaid, they could cut it from child cancer research, they cut it from waste, fraud, and abuse, right? The waste, fraud, and abuse, we've got to watch out for that stuff. It's everywhere. It's lurking behind the doors, it's hiding up underneath your bed and your couch. Waste, fraud, and abuse, it's everywhere. But it doesn't really seem to matter whether it's 8 million people, 10 million people, 13 million people that lose their health care. That's not really the number that concerns them. The number that always remains constant is $4.5 trillion. That is the magic number. That is the amount of money that they want to cut in tax cuts for the wealthy. And I hear you say, Rantoinette, hun, they're going to give me $400 in my tax refund because of this. Okay, enjoy those $400 and you will spend them all up in a month paying for higher prices in groceries, higher costs in goods. Those prices will continue to rise. And Donald Trump is already talking about, in 2 more weeks, we're going to have some more tariffs. You just wait and see. And we got the Treasury Secretary Besant or Basant or whatever the hell you want to call him. He's saying that, right now we're just in a temporary holding pattern on the tariffs. Donald Trump is planning on doing some more in the next couple of weeks. So the scarcity on the shelves, the higher cost of the goods that you were purchasing, that you normally purchase, those are going up. Walmart is already talking about, we got to raise prices. Oh, I thought Donald Trump told me that China was going to eat those costs. He said it. I remember back in the day, he said that Mexico was going to pay for that wall. China's going to pay for the tariffs. Yeah, they're going to eat that cost. Sure, they are. And so when Walmart said that they were going to have to start raising prices, Donald Trump put out a mean bleat on the Truth Centrals or whatever the hell he calls it. He said, Walmart is raising your prices. I don't understand why they don't eat the cost. Wait a minute, hold on for a second. I thought China was going to pay for that. I thought the tariffs don't raise prices. Well, here they are raising prices, and Walmart's going to pass them on to you, the consumer, just like everybody said that they were going to do. And Donald Trump is now lashing out at Walmart for saying, hey, we're going to have to raise prices because of the tariffs. So we've got a downgrade for Moody's, our last rating agency. The people are not running to the dollar anymore. They're not buying as many treasury bonds as they used to. Now those people are starting to invest in gold. Like some, octogenarian that just saw a commercial on Fox News telling him to buy some fucking silver and gold. That's the new investment. Well, back then, a few years ago, we would look at those people and we would laugh. Not anymore, folks. Now, regular, every ordinary day, stock guys, they're spending money on gold because they know that our dollar is on real shaky ground. So, big, beautiful bill, $4.5 trillion, this much closer to getting done, folks. As I promised, they will get this done. It does not matter who says what to where. It doesn't really matter. It matters how they vote. And by the way, this whole passing through committee thing, it's not like, they actually have to put their names in writing and what have you. It's just they got their number and they made it. So it's out of committee. Now it's onto the voting process. We're going to find out, but I can pretty much assure you that the one most important thing that Congress, the Republican Party of Congress, is tasked to do is to make sure they get those tax cuts, and they're going to get them. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.